claim of our culture, our society, is that we have groups of men and women and institutions professing that they have a God's eye view of our earth and that they're portraying it to be a spherical object. We were born into that. I am under no obligation to replace that faulty, obviously faulty claim with a model or a conception of our full reality. That requires an exploration. That requires the majority of human beings addressing and turning every stone of assumption that they've held to be true in regards to what they think this reality actually is. So I do not offer up a replacement for your cartoon that is the globe. I can make a statement from my own direct experience of reality, my understanding of the physical nature of substances. I can understand it from the practical applications and the geometry that we assume that the earth is demonstrably a level plane. There are undulations, high points and low points. These are determined from a level. Now, a level does not mean a reworking and a mathematical definition. A level is a level, means from one point to the other there is no deviation in elevation. That's what a level line means. That's what we use in engineering, construction, all practical applications. The only place that the other definition exists is in the conceptual, abstract notion of the globular earth, where they have to redefine natural axiomatic truths like level. So I can make that statement that the earth is demonstrably level.
And anybody who wants me to remove my common senses, my direct experience of my everyday reality, and ignore that for an absurd notion, better have something fantastic to offer me.
Now that fantastic thing is not an image. What has happened is that people have been presented with a concept that has been backed by an image, and a language has then ensued to try and describe and explain away natural phenomena in order to make it fit a conceptual image. That's not how it should work. What individuals should be basing things on is their direct experience of what they can quantify, test, measure, observe for themselves. No, with a preconceived bias of an imprinted image that you're then going to set out to try and make everything that you find fit your image. That's exactly what the globe does. It's not a quantifiable three-dimensional object, it is a concept. It exists only on paper as an abstract theory. Not a tangible three-dimensional thing. Regardless of what you think that image is showing you, I give no credence to images on my TV screen whatsoever, particularly when that image is depicting my reality contrary to what I experience from day to day. I am not going to ignore my God-given senses, if you like to call it that, whatever that may mean. Know that I'm a religious man, it's just a turn of phrase for people to understand what I'm talking about. My constitution, if you like, I am not going to throw that out the window because a group of men and women can show me artistry through a TV screen. A branch of physics, if you can even call it physics, it was more like metaphysics, has been created by use of language in order to support a total absurdity. It's happened through generations, through incremental steps, and people now think they've got an understanding of this abstract notion that they live on a nature-defying oblate spheroid. I don't need your language, I don't need your images on a screen. As a human being, you require no language in order for me to understand some physical aspect of my objective reality. All that it takes is for you to be able to demonstrate things to me in a practical fashion. If you cannot demonstrate what it is you're trying to claim to me in a practical fashion, I have to take you as either confused or deliberately trying to deceive me. So, we stand in the field. As far as I'm concerned, the globe is utter garbage. It's the psychological foundation of all human beings. Human beings are jumping about the branches of the trees without ever discovering the trunk and the roots of what they're actually jumping on. That's what we need to get back to. Human beings are running before they can walk. You do not know where you are. You do not know what you are a part of here. These questions are unanswered.
Therefore, anything that you're calling a life, anything that you're investing yourself in, regardless of how good it makes you feel,
is purely delusional. You are substituting actual knowing of your direct reality and a further deeper understanding of what you're a part of. You're substituting that for concepts and ideas. Reality is the thrill. Exploration of your immediate reality is the real thrill. No chasing an idea of stature, hierarchy, your job, your hobby. What is this you're a part of? If you don't have those questions answered, what are you up to? You're a hypnotised monkey, is what you're up to. And just because it's familiar and you think you've got a grasp on it, doesn't mean to say that it has any grounds in real objective truth in regards to the bigger picture of what you are involved in here. So human beings are born into this hypnotic cult that's teaching you that they've got all the answers figured out. And what I can see is that the whole shebang is there to stifle you from the religious ideologies to the same ideologies that they present as science. Are there to stifle your creativity. They're there to stifle your explorative nature, your inquiring nature. These things are keeping you still, internally, externally, physically, metaphysically. They're constraining your natural flow. So, it's about time people let it go and start admitting to themselves a bit of intellectual honesty of how little they actually know of what they're a part of. Be a skeptic. Don't just take it on hearsay because it's presented to you as science. Science says I'm a hairless monkey on a wee potato rock spinning about a vacuum. Therefore science says so that's what I believe. That makes you an absolute fucking idiot. Snap out of it. There's a reason why there's so much fucking dysfunction around you. Now you better start tracing that to the very fundamentals of all reasoning processes and realise that there's a void there because you don't have a fucking clue where you are and what you're a part of. You're jumping on the bandwagon, clutching at straws, desperately trying to attain certainty that you're never going to find because you're chasing an idea. So, if you want to discuss with me the nature of our reality and what it actually is, fair enough. I have expressed numerous times what it takes to convince a man of myself, or what it will take for me to accept something as being part of my objective reality. I accept nothing else.
I don't want religious rhetoric and mantras and buzzwords and expressions of the Dunning-Kruger effect.
Everything else I'm willing to discuss. I'm no big in politics. I've overview of these things as a total fucking nonsense. Mental illness. One aspect trying to control and dominate another aspect. Another huge problem that human beings need to face up to. An understanding and a separation of your own subjective experience and what is objectively true. What we see in the world is groups of subjectivity trying to dominate and control other groups of subjectivity and turning the whole thing into a big massive shite show. Who has the right to be behaving like that? Maybe everybody has the right. Does that make it correct? Does that make it beneficial to us? No, it fucking well does not. Look at the state of the shithole. Oh, we're so advanced, Joe. I've got wee gadgets and I can phone my pal and Timbuktu and all that. Well fucking done. How does your mind work? I don't know, what's on the telly? Ah, fuck it, I'm going to the cinema. This is the complex machinery. This is the technology that you better get to grips with.
Because you're using it naively.
And through your naivety, your attention and your will is being directed and coerced onto utter fucking crap to the detriment of yourself, your immediate family, and the majority around you. It's only benefiting a few. So fucking snap out of it. Quick style. Let's enjoy and embrace the real endeavours of creativity and expression and exploration, and start finding out what the fuck this place actually is. Because I tell you what, again, it's not what's being portrayed to you. You're seeing cartoons, you're seeing images on a screen. That's deliberate, to throw you off the scent, to make you think it's all been discovered and there's nothing else, therefore I'll just clutch at my ideas and my concepts that make my fuses good, and I'll die. Irresponsible. Get a grip. This machine that you are occupying, if you like, is an intricate piece of technology. So you better understand how to recognise yourself within it and understand the processes of the machine. Because if you don't, your will, your intent is going to be directed onto utter nonsense. Well, actual reality slips by. So it all comes into your attention. Whatever you place your attention in, whatever you buy into, you will be subject to your own creation. And I mean that internally. I don't mean new age spiritual bollocks about you making reality change and all that kind of stuff. You can make your reality change internally, and physically, by interacting with the physical world, you can make change in it. But you have to understand what you're emotionally investing in, what you're putting your intent into, your goals, your aspirations. What are they about? And the only power that I have is to direct attention. I can go on autopilot and the attention will just be pulled left, right and centre by the flood of thoughts that are coming through the processing unit. Or I can say, hold on a minute, fuck that autopilot shit. I'm going to direct my attention to where I will it to be. As I've spoken about this before, there are so many variants of biological life, particularly in humans, the different races, the distinct different races of people. You know, the bullshit that they try and hit us with about common ancestors and all that garbage. All that information had to be present from the very off. So we're all descendants from some mightily complex, more advanced being than ourselves. That's pretty much what they're saying. That has to be the case. You're not getting new variations of information that are randomly appearing from fucking nowhere through mutations. Mutations don't add new information. So, I've postulated that a few times. Is it a case of some petri dish experimentation type thing? Or was there a necessity for us to end up like this, where different aspects of biological life ended up in the one pond or the one place or area through whatever means, and that was never the natural flow of how it was. It's all opened, it's all for speculation, but that's all it can be. You know, these people that are making affirmative claims to know what's actually going on are lunatics, as far as I'm concerned. Again, people have to think about that. What if there's other advanced areas? Would you really want us retarded fucktards getting in and poisoning that with our narcissistic fucking selfish tendencies? No, who would you fuck? Because any advanced civilization would have moved beyond this, you know, need to dominate and control and subdue other aspects of biological life. I certainly wouldn't want that infecting my advanced, superior civilization. So it's another possibility. There is no dichotomy. These people who are trying to perpetuate dichotomies of the dimensions of our Earth, there only is one objective reality as far as I can fucking make out. So what is there to be debating? Again, when you're seeing people requiring and utilising problematic and sophisticated, idiotic language, and building upon that, language upon language upon language, to try and confirm a wee biased notion that they're clinging desperately to, you know that there's an issue. Something's real, fucking show me it. Bring it to me. Demonstrate it. I'm a clever man. I have a very practical mind. Regardless of what your expertise is, if there's some mechanical function to it, there must be a mechanical function to it. I will understand it. As soon as you start fucking trying to waffle complex, sophisticated language at me, I know you're an absolute cockend. Right up your own ass. You need to wind your neck in and snap out of your little fucking delusion. So I don't give a fuck if you're PhD Superman. Right? And that goes for everybody else. You should have the exact same attitude. You have your own discernment. You are the scientist. You have the mind and the ability to understand practicality. Everybody has it. What's getting in the way? People have bought into this pseudo-intellectualism and sophisticated of language and shits and ties and mannerisms and all that. So they must be intelligent. Fuck off. There is a use for understanding these morons and their sophistication, because you can combat them with their own use of the spoken word by understanding the mechanisms that they utilise and what they're actually meaning. But that doesn't mean to say you're an intellectual either. It just means that you're coming down a level in order to understand these fucking morons, these fucking absolute desperate idiots that think they're something, but they're turning the whole place into a shite show. Their fucking explanations of magical forces and energy transfers and all this fucking garbage. Stuff without geometric shape and form here. Just utter nonsense. Wee tiny space balls, big massive space balls, and voids and empty spaces in between and all that. And in the void and empty space between there's magical, mystical stuffs. Black holes and counter space and all that fucking crap. Dark matter, dark energy. Sounds like a fucking Hollywood movie script, if you ask me.